Fasting, the master remedy in nature cure. Fasting alludes to finish forbearance from nourishment for a short or extensive stretch for a particular reason. The word is gotten from early English, feastan, which intends to quick, watch, be severe. Fasting is nature's most established, best but then most affordable strategy for treating the ailment. It is perceived as the foundation of common mending. Dr. Arnold E. Harrett, the originator of the mucusless eating routine mending framework, depicts it as nature's just all-inclusive and all-powerful cure of mending, and nature's the main principal law of all recuperating and relieving. The act of fasting is one of the eldest traditions. It is followed in pretty much every religion. The Mohammedan, the Buddhists, the Hindus and numerous others have their times of severe fasting. The holy people of medieval occasions laid incredible weight on this technique. Fasting in the illness was supported by the school of the normal rationalist, Asclepiades, more than 2,000 years prior. All through medicinal history, it has been viewed as one of the most reliable remedial techniques. Hippocrates, Galen, Paracelsus and numerous other extraordinary specialists on the drug recommended it. Many noted present-day doctors have effectively utilized this arrangement of mending in the treatment of various sicknesses. The regular reason for all ailments is the gathering of waste and harmful issues in the body which comes about because of indulging. Most people eat excessively and pursue inactive occupations that don't allow adequate and legitimate exercise for use of this huge amount of nourishment. This surplus overburdens the stomach-related and assimilative organs and stops up the framework with polluting influences or toxins. Absorption and disposal become moderate and the utilitarian action of the entire framework gets unhinged. The beginning of the sickness is only the way toward freeing the arrangement of these contaminations. The sickness can be mended by just one cure, by doing the exact inverse of what causes it, that is, by decreasing nourishment admission or fasting. By denying the group of nourishment for a period, the organs of disposal, for example, the entrails, kidneys, skin, and lungs are allowed a chance to oust, unrestricted, the overburdened amassed squander from the framework. In this way, fasting is simply the procedure of purging and a powerful and speedy strategy for a fix. It helps nature in her ceaseless exertion to remove outside issues and sickness-delivering waste from the body, along these lines redressing the issues of ill-advised eating regimen and wrong living. It likewise prompts recovery of the blood just as the fix and recovery of the different tissues of the body. The span of the quick relies on the age of the patient, the nature of the infection and the sum and kind of medications recently utilized. The length is significant in light of the fact that extensive stretches of fasting can be hazardous whenever embraced without equipped expert direction. It is, in this way, prudent to attempt a progression of short fasts of a few days and steadily increment the span of each succeeding quick by a day or somewhere in the vicinity. The period, nonetheless, ought not to surpass 7 days of complete fasting at once. This will empower the constantly wiped-out body to bit by bit and gradually take out the lethal waste issues without genuinely influencing the normal working of the body. A right method of living and a fair diet after the quick will re-establish life and imperativeness to the person. Fasting is profoundly helpful for all intents and purposes, a wide range of stomach and intestinal issues and genuine states of the kidneys and liver. It is a wonder remedy for dermatitis and other skin illnesses and offers the main any expectation of a lasting fix much of the time. The different anxious scatters additionally react well to this method of treatment. Fasting should, in any case, not be re-established in each sickness. In instances of diabetes, progressed phases of tuberculosis, and outrageous instances of neurasthenia, long fasts will be hurtful. In most cases, in any case, no damage will collect to fasting patients, if they take rest and are under appropriate proficient consideration. Strategies: the best, most secure and best strategy for fasting is juice fasting. Despite the fact that the old great type of fasting was unadulterated water quick, the greater part of the main experts on fasting today concur that juice fasting is far better than water quick. As per Dr. Ranger Berg, the world well-known expert on nourishment, during fasting, the body catches fire and discharges gigantic measures of gathered squanders. We can help this purifying procedure by drinking basic squeeze rather than water while fasting. End of uric, corrosive and other inorganic acids will be quickened. What's more, sugars in juices will fortify the heart. Juice fasting is, accordingly, the best type of fasting. Nutrients, minerals, catalysts and follow components in new, crude vegetable and natural product juices are very valuable in normalizing all the body forms. They supply fundamental components for the body's mending action and cell recovery, and along these lines speeding the recuperation. All juices ought to be set up from new natural products preceding drinking. Canned or solidified juices ought to not be utilized. A careful step that must be seen in all instances of fasting is the finished exhausting of the insides toward the start of the quick by douche, with the goal that the patient isn't irritated by gas or deteriorating matter shaped from the waste products staying in the body. Bowel purges ought to be controlled no less than each substitute day during the fasting time frame. The patient ought to get however much outside air as could reasonably be expected, and should drink plain tepid water when parched. New juices might be weakened with unadulterated water. The all-out fluid admission ought to be around 6 to 8 glasses. A ton of vitality is spent during the quick during the time spent dispensing with collected toxins and dangerous waste materials. It is, therefore, of most extreme significance that the patients get to such an extent physical rest and mental unwinding as conceivable during the quick. In instances of fasts in which natural product juices are taken, particularly when new grapes, oranges or grapefruit are utilized only, the dangerous squander enters the bloodstream quickly, bringing about an overburden of lethal issue, which influences typical substantial capacities. This regularly brings about discombobulated spells, trailed by the runs and heaving. In the event that this physical response endures, it is fitting to suspend the quick and take cooked vegetables containing sufficient roughage, for example, spinach and beets, until the body working comes back to typical. The overweight individual thinks that it's a lot simpler to abandon nourishment. Loss of weight causes no dread. Also, the patient's demeanor makes fasting just about joy. The primary day's food cravings are maybe the hardest to shoulder. The hankering for nourishment will, in any case, progressively decline as the quick advances. Genuinely wiped out people have no craving for nourishment, and fasting easily falls into place for them. The simple rule is to quit eating until the hunger returns or until one feels totally well. Truth be told, exceptionally straightforward activities like short strolls might be attempted during the quick. Warm water or an impartial shower might be taken during the period. Cold showers are not fitting. Sun and air showers ought to be taken day by day. Fasting now and again delivers a condition of restlessness which can be defeated by a warm tub shower, heated water bottles at the feet, and by drinking a couple of glasses of boiling water. Advantages. There are a few advantages of fasting. During a long quick, the body sustains upon its stores. Being denied of required supplements, especially of protein and fats, it will consume and process its own tissues by the procedure of autolysis or self-assimilation. Be that as it may, it won't do so indiscriminately. The body will initially break down and consume those cells and tissues which are ailing, harmed, matured, or on the other hand dead. The basic tissues and fundamental organs, the sensory system, and the mind are not harmed or processed in fasting. Here untruths the mystery of the viability of fasting as a healing and rejuvenation technique. During fasting, the structure of new and solid cells is speeded up by the amino acids discharged from the sick cells. The limit of the eliminative organs, that is, lungs, liver, kidneys and the skin, is enormously expanded as they are mitigated of the regular weight of processing nourishment and disposing of the resultant squanders. They are, along these lines, ready to rapidly oust old collected squanders and poisons. Fasting manages a physiological rest to the stomach-related, assimilative and defensive organs. As a result, the processing of nourishment and the use of supplements is incredibly improved subsequent to fasting. The quick additionally apply a normalizing, stabilizing and restoring impact on all the essential physiological, anxious and mental capacities. Breaking of fast. The achievement of the quick depends to a great extent on HOS it is broken. This is the most noteworthy stage. The primary guidelines for breaking the quick are: don't indulge, eat gradually and bite your nourishment altogether, and take a few days for the slow change to the typical eating routine. In the event that the progress to eating strong nourishments is painstakingly arranged, there will be no uneasiness or harm. The patient ought to likewise keep on taking rest during the progress time frame. The correct nourishment after a quick is as significant, what's more, definitive for legitimate outcomes as the quick itself.